Part of the reason I bought this bike is because I am a big person. So I am 6'9", 240, and riding a motorcycle sometimes can be challenging for people my height, simply because the bikes just aren't made for that. The GS Adventure 1250 fits me very, very well. But one thing that doesn't fit me very well are the mirrors. So based on the stock configuration, the mirrors do not come out very far, and basically I see a lot of my shoulder. So continue with that on the theme of us trying to protect the bike. One of the big pieces that can cause you some trouble if you put a bike down is, will the mirrors break off? And these factory mirrors, the heads will swivel. So this moves, but this is still a rigid arm. And in the event of a fall, having a mirror that isn't a rigid arm is really beneficial. With that being said, we are going to install a set of Doubletake mirrors on our GS. If this is something you're interested in, please stick around for the video. All right, my name is Dan, and welcome back to the channel. We are working on our 2024 1250 GS Adventure. If you're new to the channel, I am taking a common sense approach to making my bike as safe and secure as possible for the riding that I'm going to do, which is primarily on the street and checking out the mountains of Colorado with some, what I'm gonna call off pavement riding and some slight off-road riding, just to be able to get out and see things. With that being said, today we're going to tackle the Doubletake mirror setup. This is a small company in Colorado, which is great to be able to support them. But one of the primary benefits of this mirror is that if you do fall, that it bends in 2 different points. So it'll bend right out of the way and you can put it right back. Inside the kit comes a set of mirrors, a set of arms, and a set of studs. And I'll show you really what the difference is. As I kind of explained, if we take a look at the mirror and we hold up the Doubletake setup, you can see at the pivot point how much further this mirror is going to stick out, which is going to give us quite a bit of extra vision past my shoulders. So hopefully I can see the road and see the cars and not just the shoulders that I have. So like I said, in the kit, you get your mirrors wrapped in a koozie, which I think is pretty cool. And I opted for the 6-inch arm specifically because of what I told you about, that I am a big guy with wide shoulders, and I wanted to get as much visibility as I can. And inside that ball kit, there's a bunch of different hardware depending on which bike you have, but there's a BMW specific threaded piece, and it's the one with the shortest shoulder. If you have a different bike and you're using longer studs, they give you another spacer if you need it, and then there's a serrated washer to kind of keep things tight. As always, I try and use Loctite on everything to make sure, the blue Loctite, that it stays put. So for this, you're going to need 14mm wrenches, and what that's going to do is allow you to take this jam nut set off. These are both 14mm. And then you have a 50mm Torx on this side. Now for me, I am taking this guard off altogether because it is just plastic, and we're installing a set of Barkbuster hand protectors on there. We'll do a different video on that, but for now we're just going to replace the mirror and just leave this off. So the first step is just take a 14mm wrench and just loosen the jam nut. Spin that right off. From there, we'll take our 14mm wrench again and just loosen up the spacer that's there, and it has a associated wash. From there, we're going to check the BMW specific bolt just to make sure that it threads in, which it does. And now we're going to go ahead and take this guard off, which is what that 50mm piece is for. If you're not removing the guard, then this is a step that you're not going to have to follow. But like I said, since we are putting the Barkbusters on there to give my hand some actual protection, then we're just going to take this whole setup off. So the bolt slides straight through like that. We're going to put some blue Loctite on that. And then this uses a number 8 hex wrench to put down. So I'd like to use the paste Loctite just because I think it works better. We'll just get those ends covered and then put it in. So we removed the stock guard arm since we're not going to be reusing that. The bark busters have a clamp that comes around, so we don't need this extra piece in the way. So we'll take the serrated washer and the bolt that we have some Loctite on, put that together, and basically screw it in. So we'll take our 8mm Allen and just snug it down. So from there, we'll take our arms and one of our mirrors. And then it really is just clamping that down, and then we'll put it in the position that we want. So this ball has got a rubber coating on it, which is going to keep it nice and tight. So you can see, you know, how much further this sticks out based off of how this arm setup is set. It's super easy to do. Just tighten this down once you get the position the way that you want it to. And if you ever get into an accident and this pushes, this arm is going to flex and not break, so you don't have to worry about your mirror breaking off. So we're going to do the other one, and then we'll be back. One thing I did forget to mention on the other side is that there is a larger end and a smaller end. So the larger end has a slightly bigger hole on this end and a smaller hole on this side. The larger end goes onto the ball on the handlebar. All right, and there you go. I get these koozies off. Super nice, super easy, and super strong. So like I said, the beauty of these mirrors for me in particular was that they give me extended width on both sides to be able to see past my shoulders, which is a pretty important thing. And secondarily, from a safety standpoint, and if you drop the bike, those mirrors are going to bend out of the way based off that friction ball mount, and they are not going to break. So they are a tried and true thing. Again, I like that they're made here in Colorado, so I get to support the folks in my state. And hope you guys got something from the video. It took about 15 minutes to do. If you like what I'm doing here, give me a giant thumbs up. Think about subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.